All right, so today we're taking a deep dive into the Sedona Method. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, definitely. It's all about, letting go of all the stuff that keeps us from really living a fulfilling life.
Right, exactly. And we're going to be looking at this YouTube interview with Hale Dwoskin. He's been practicing and teaching this for over 45 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
I know. And he was even featured in, that movie, The Secret.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So that gives you an idea. He learned it straight from the guy who kind of came up with it, Lester Levinson.
Interesting. And what's the story with Levinson?
Well, Levinson's kind of a legend because he was facing like a really serious health crisis. Doctors basically told him, this is it.
Oh, wow.
But through this process of letting go, he ended up living for another 42 years.
No way. So like, what exactly is the Sedona Method?
Well, it's all about releasing those unwanted thoughts, feelings, and beliefs.
Yeah.
All that stuff that kind of gets in our way.
Okay, that makes sense. So how do you actually do it? Like, how do you let go?
Well, Dwoskin uses this really great analogy with a pen. Have you heard this?
I don't think so.
Okay, so imagine you're holding a pen, right? And you're gripping it really tight. The tighter you grip it, the more uncomfortable it gets.
Yeah, I can see that.
But then you just open your hand and let the pen drop, and it's like instant relief.
Huh. So it's about releasing that tension.
Exactly.
Oh.
And that's what the Sedona Method is all about. It's about making that choice to let go, not some big struggle.
Okay, so it's a choice, but how do you actually make that choice? Like, is there a process for letting go?
Yeah, Dwoskin walks us through this really simple 3-question process.
Oh, okay. What are the questions?
So he starts with, could you let it go?
Could you let it go?
Yeah. And it's like just that question implies that, maybe it is possible.
Right.
And then he asks, would you let it go?
Would you let it go? Interesting. So it's getting at whether we actually want to let go.
Right. Because sometimes we're kind of holding on to that negativity, even though it's causing us pain.
Yeah, I can see that. We get attached to our suffering sometimes.
Exactly. And that leads to the final question, when?
When? So you're not putting it off. You're making the decision to let go right now.
Right now. No more waiting for the perfect time.
I like that. So this letting go, does it lead to some sort of inner peace? Is that what we're talking about here?
Well, yeah. Dwoskin says that harmony is our natural state. It's not something we have to achieve. It's already there. It's just covered up by all the disharmony.
So by letting go, we're uncovering our natural state of harmony.
Exactly. He tells this great story about teaching a seminar while dealing with a major plumbing emergency at his home.
Oh, no. Like, what happened?
No showers, no toilets, the whole 9 yards. It was a mess. But he says even with all that chaos going on, he was able to stay calm and peaceful because he's just so good at letting go.
So it's like no matter what's happening externally, you can still find peace internally.
That's the idea. And it reminds me of this one time.
What happened?
Well, my family and I were going on this big vacation. We'd been planning it for months. And then at the last minute, our flight got canceled.
Oh.
Yeah. And there were no other flights for days. Everyone was so bummed, especially the kids. But I don't know, for some reason, I just felt this sense of calm come over me.
Really?
Yeah. I decided to just embrace it, And we ended up having the best time exploring our own city and doing things we never had time for before.
That's great. So you let go of the expectation of the perfect vacation.
Yeah, and found joy in the unexpected.
That's a great example of how letting go can lead to a more positive experience, even when things don't go as planned.
Absolutely. So we've got the pen analogy, we've got the 3 questions. What else did Dwoskin talk about in this interview?
Well, one thing that stood out to me was this idea that as children, we're actually really good at letting go.
That's interesting. Why do you think that is?
Well, you know how kids are. They fall down, they might cry for a minute, and then they're back to playing.
Yeah, they bounce back quickly.
Exactly. They don't dwell on it. But somewhere along the way, we as adults, we start overthinking things, and we hold on to negativity.
So it's like we unlearn this natural ability.
It seems that way. And that's why Dwoskin emphasizes mindful parenting.
How so?
Well, if we model healthy emotional regulation for our kids, we can help them avoid picking up those negative patterns.
That's so important. Our own personal growth isn't just for us, it's for the next generation too.
Absolutely. It's about creating a more conscious and harmonious world, one person at a time.
This is really fascinating stuff. Where should we go next with this deep dive?
Well, Dwoskin talked about this connection between letting go, and abundance. Maybe we could explore that further.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm really curious to hear how releasing those limiting beliefs can open us up to more possibilities in life.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll be back with part 2 shortly.
Welcome back. We're continuing our deep dive into the Sedona Method. So last time we were talking about this connection between letting go and abundance.
Yeah, I'm really intrigued by this part. It's like Dwoskin seems to be saying that letting go isn't just about feeling peaceful inside. It can actually affect like our money situation.
Right, and he's pretty upfront about, how the Sedona Method can lead to more money. But it's not about like some magic trick or manifesting. It's more about becoming more effective and making good decisions by clearing out all the mental junk.
So like what kind of mental blocks are we talking about?
Well, it depends on the person, but some common ones are, the belief that there's not enough money to go around, or that you don't deserve to be wealthy, or that you have to work like nonstop to be financially secure.
Yeah, those beliefs can be so sneaky. They become like these self-fulfilling prophecies.
Exactly. And by using the Sedona Method to let go of these beliefs, you can open yourself up to new opportunities and have a healthier relationship with money.
It's like taking off the brakes on your financial potential. Dwoskin mentioned that he's seen people become millionaires using the Sedona Method, but isn't there a risk that, some people will see this as like a get-rich-quick scheme?
That's a good point. But Dwoskin emphasizes that it's not about shortcuts. It's about becoming more aligned with your goals and making decisions from a place of clarity instead of like fear, and, recognizing opportunities that you might have missed before.
So it's about like changing your whole mindset around abundance, not just attracting wealth. Can you apply this to other areas of life too?
Oh, absolutely. Dwoskin talks about how this shift can impact, relationships, health, overall well-being. Like letting go in one area can create positive changes in others.
It's like that saying, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Exactly. And the Sedona Method gives you a way to actually do that.
Now, Dwoskin was clear that letting go doesn't mean like becoming passive or giving up on your goals, right?
Yeah, that's a big misconception. He actually says that letting go is about becoming more effective in going after what you want. You're not ignoring your desires, you're just releasing the resistance.
So it's about aligning your actions with what you want, but without all the inner struggle.
Right. And he brings back that powerful question, am I the problem, or am I aware of the problem?
That's light. That really makes you stop and think.
It helps you, separate yourself from all the mental and emotional drama and see things from a different perspective.
It's like hitting pause on a movie. You're still watching it, but you have a moment to reflect.
Yeah, exactly. When you realize that you're not your thoughts or feelings, you have the power to choose which ones you want to engage with.
You're in control, not your emotions.
Exactly. When you're constantly bombarded with, negative thoughts and feelings, it's hard to focus on your goals. Letting go frees up your energy so you can actually create the life you want.
It sounds like this letting go process gets easier the more you do it.
That's what Dwoskin says. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
So it takes effort, but the rewards are worth it.
Yeah.
Are there like different ways to practice letting go? Or is it just the 3 questions?
Dwoskin mentions that there are, a lot of different techniques. Some are simple, like the 3 questions, and others are more in-depth. He encourages people to, experiment and find what works for them. He even talks about using letting go in relationships.
How so?
Well, think about it. By letting go of resentment or judgment towards your loved ones, you create space for more, love and understanding.
It's not about pretending those feelings aren't there. It's about changing them into something better.
Yeah, you got it. It's about getting rid of all the emotional baggage.
This reminds me of what Dwoskin said about happiness. He doesn't think happiness is something you had to achieve. He thinks it's already there.
That's a pretty radical idea. We're so used to thinking that we have to chase happiness.
What if it's just covered up by all the stuff we've learned over the years?
It's about peeling back those layers and rediscovering, the peace and freedom that we were born with.
It's like we're returning to our true selves. But I imagine some people might be skeptical, They might not believe that letting go can have such a big impact.
Sure, it's normal to be skeptical. But remember, the Sedona Method has been around for a long time, and lots of people have seen amazing results.
So if someone's curious about the Sedona Method, where should they start?
I'd say start simple. Try the 3-question process. It's a good way to get a feel for what letting go is all about.
And there are, books and courses out there, plus tons of free information online.
Exactly. You have nothing to lose and potentially a whole lot to gain.
So as we wrap up part 2, I want to leave you with something to think about. What if letting go is not about giving up? What if it's about taking back control of your thoughts, your feelings, and your experience of life?
That's a great question. And it leads us right into the final part of our exploration.
Stay tuned for part 3, where we'll keep uncovering the power of the Sedona Method. Welcome back. So we've been talking about letting go and all that, but it makes you think, like, what if this was bigger than just us?
Yeah, like what about society as a whole?
Exactly. What if everyone knew how to just let go of all the negativity?
It's an interesting thought, right? Dwoskin doesn't really talk about, the big picture stuff, but you got to wonder, if more people were doing this, would the world be different?
Imagine a world with less conflict, less judging, more compassion.
Yeah. Think about like poverty or the environment. If
Yeah.
you could just let go of greed and fear, could we solve those problems?
It's like shifting from scarcity to abundance. Like we're all connected.
Exactly. And that shift, that could be huge, like cooperation instead of competition, right?
Mhm.
Putting the planet first.
It's kind of hopeful, isn't it? A world where everyone's working together. And the Sedona Method, it gives us the tools to do that.
Yeah, it does. Each of us, we can take responsibility for how we feel inside. And that can like spread outwards.
Like that Gandhi quote, be the change you want to see. The Sedona Method helps us become that change, to be more peaceful, more loving, and hopefully inspire others.
It goes back to that idea of choice. We can choose our thoughts, how we react, and what kind of world we want.
So to wrap up our deep dive, I want to leave you with this.
Yeah.
What if letting go isn't about giving up? What if it's about creating a better world?
That's a powerful thought. And it really gets to the heart of the Sedona Method, right? Letting go of what's holding us back so we can reach our full potential and build a world that we're proud of.
It's been great exploring all this with you. Hopefully it's been helpful.
Remember, you have the power to let go of all that negativity and create a life filled with, peace and happiness.
So until next time, keep diving deep, keep letting go, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.